What's happening, good people? Welcome to Where's His Watch Room. In this one we are going to be reviewing the RMALTI RM001. So I picked this up a few weeks back when I did the video on new AliExpress brands. This was one I was most interested in checking out, and well, I got one in. So I unboxed it on my second channel, and obviously if you've not seen that, you can check it out to see what you get with the watch if you're interested. But I think because you're here today, you're more interested in the watch than the packaging. So what we're going to do is get specs, all that stuff out of the way, the good, the bad, and whether it's worth it at the end. So kicking off with the dimensions, this one is 40.2 in diameter, including the crown. It's 43.6. Lug to lug, so tip to tip, is 47.2, so nice and wearable for a lot of wrist sizes. That lug width, 22mm, 11.9 thick, so it's actually much thinner than I was expecting, for an automatic. And the crown is a good size at 6.3mm. Construction, full 316L stainless steel throughout, sapphire crystal with AR coating, 100 meters claim water resistance, and a screw down crown and case back. So now we've got all that out of the way, let's talk the highlight of this watch, that dial. And that dial is so nice. Now in some lighting situations, I will admit it's a little bit hard to appreciate it, but if you just get it at the right angle, you can just see the beautiful sort of wavy, natural, organic styling, and it has some genuine texture and depth. So I am, very, very impressed that they've done this. Now, I did make a little bit of a tiny error in the unboxing where I said this was a birch style dial. No, that's not correct. The birch style runs vertically, so the design work on the dial runs vertically down. This, you can see, is more wavy towards, horizontal, so it's a little bit more like that. So I'm thinking, well, what could this be based upon? Is it an original based upon the birch and they've done their own thing? No, it's not. It's actually inspired by this. Now, I'm not going to say what it is, you can just see it. But yeah, it's inspired by that, which is absolutely stunning. It's a limited edition. I think there's only like 100, 200 pieces being made, and it's expensive. So RMALTI have brought out their sort of interpretation, and it looks so good. Not perfect, mind. So let's get into that. So as we mentioned, that dial, stunning texture, depth, plenty of other colours as well. If you're not a fan of this one, there's a green, a red, a grey, there's a white in the works as well, if you're not a fan of this black. Like I said, in some situations it's a little bit hard to see. It does have one positive note though, those indices and hands really pop off. So we've got a massive, like a triple marker at the 12, batons everywhere else, it's like a double stack baton. And they are so good, all applied, mixed finishing, superb. One little tiny issue I've noticed though, and someone else did spot in the unboxing, the 6 o'clock one is slightly misaligned. All the rest are bang on though and look great. But yeah, the indices, I mean, you can just see they are really shimmering in the light. But you will notice there is some little issues with legibility. You can see, the hands sort of disappear, the second hand is gone. But you do get it into some light and it does, so it's not the most legible in all lighting situations. So I think you might want to go for maybe a different dial design, might make it a little bit more legible, but I just love this one, so I don't really care. As for branding, you can see we've got their applied logo under the 12 and then automatic above the 6. Now, fun fact, the automatic is not printed straight onto the dial. They've actually put a little piece of flat material and done it onto that, and that way it just looks nice and crisp and neat. Now on to my complaints, and you probably guess what it is. That date window. I mean date windows, you're not my favourite thing, but a white one on a black dial, it just stands out too much. Now if there was more white on the dial, I might understand, but the movement in this has plenty of customization options to get custom date discs to match. So yeah, it's not really an excuse, and I think they should have gone that little bit extra just to match it, because it just sticks out like a sore thumb. It's not as noticeable on the other paler dial colours, but on this one it really pops in the wrong way. Minted track all the way around on the rehaul, nice and neat. Speaking of well done, those hands are fantastic as well. Very clean, you know, they've got this channel again like the indices, mix finishing, and they are very, very nice. A little chapter ring all the way around, black with white markers. You know, it just helps with that legibility when you're trying to read the time. So let's move on from that dial, because I could talk about it for ages. And we have a beautifully finished case. It's mixed finish like, you know, on the indices, brush bezel, high polished sides, and then we've got this chamfered edge, which is so neat and crisp. Brush sides, which again, you know, is very, very beautiful, and you know, it's so well done, really satinized, really uniform and crisp. Drilled lugs too, something I wasn't expecting, but is always a bonus if you ever want to swap out the bracelet. This side, you know, we've just got a screw down sign crown with their logo on it. You know, their logo is not really the most easy to distinguish what it is, let's just say, but yeah, it's signed and, you know, it's nicely done. Polish pops off the brush in really well, so very, very impressed with this case. It is so, so well done. You know, the finishing is easily rivaling, you know, San Martin, Kronos, all that, and that is saying something, because this is a bit cheaper than most of their offerings. Spinning it around to the case back, we have a mineral crystal exhibition style screw down. You know, we've got a little bit of mixed finishing again, we've got high polish, and we've also got the specifications engraved all the way around. But yeah, other than that, you know, it's not really exciting. It's just a Seiko NH35 in the back, so not really, yeah, up to write home about. I wish they'd put a decorated case back on instead, in my opinion, because we don't really need to see an NH35. But anyway, well, you know, that can be for, you know, something else. Bracelet next, and this one again is a little bit of a mixed bag. It's beautifully finished, don't get me wrong. I mean, that brushing is so well done. I mean, again, it's easily rivaling San Martin level of finishing. One little thing I've noticed though, you can see the mail end links. The accent on them is very round, but then if you look at the accent on the bracelet, it's a little bit more angular and a little bit more sharp. We've got these facets at the top, and then it's a little bit flatter. So it just doesn't really flow all that well. But yeah, it's just a little bit weird, round, and then it just doesn't flow all that well. I mean, there's probably a reason why it's like that, but yeah, it just throws off the design a little bit. Build quality though, superb. You know, we've got solid end links, solid links, they are screwed as well. And yeah, the quality is really good, nice articulation, doesn't stick, polished sides. Yeah, it's a really, really well put together. I've noticed as well there's a few little, you know, edges that are a little bit rough, and on the underside as well. So they could do with a little bit of refinement if I'm being nitpicky. Clasp, we've got a milled outer shell and milled main part. You know, this is a part. Nice action, nearly as good as San Martin's, but not quite as crisp. 3 micro adjust, brush sides, chamfered edge, and branded. It's a very nice clasp, and I would say, you know, quality wise, it's nearly as good as San Martin's, but not, you know, not quite. I mean, San Martin's clasps are superb. This is, you know, a few little steps behind, but you know, definitely for a first attempt, you know, it's impressive. It's really, really impressive. So what we're going to do now is stop waffling about the bracelet and get this on wrist. And there it is, guys. And you know what? It is such a nice wearing watch. I think, you know, they've done a bang up job with the ergonomics of this one. The bracelet, you know, is so nice to wear. You know, you can just see it conforms really well to my odd shaped wrist. Got no gaps. You know, it doesn't pinch. It doesn't cause any issues at all. It is a superbly comfortable bracelet to wear. Taking a look at that profile, it hugs well too. You know, we've got a little bit of you know, curvature to the case, a little bit of downturn to those lugs, and it really does fit well. I was genuinely surprised. I think I took just about all the links out of it to get it to fit. but I'm on, you know, only the first micro adjuster. There's still another 2. So this technically will fit a smaller wrist than mine, if you do have a smaller wrist. But this one will fit you know, you guys with bigger wrists as well. It's definitely a versatile size for a watch. You know, that 47.2 lug to lug just fits nice on my wrist, I would say. Bordering on just about, you know, what I can accommodate. But it is a superbly comfortable watch. One of the most comfortable I have ever, you know, had hands on with. And, you know, that is no joke. It is really that comfortable. I'd say it's even on par with my Seiko Sore. And that is extremely comfortable as well. Right guys, before we round out the review, we are going to talk movement. Now I'm not going to bore you with all the details because it's just a Seiko NH35, so we all know the specs. I'll, you know, pop them on screen if you're not familiar. But yeah, this one in particular, I'm just going to talk about the crown because, you know, we've talked NH35s to death. Crown is nice, good amount of grip, good size. You know, it's got a good amount of engagement, both you know, in use. You know, it's good grip. And it is, you know, it's nice to use. Pop it back in, you know, to do your day, and then screw it in. And it's been absolutely rock solid. You know, no issues whatsoever. The NH35, no complaints with it whatsoever as movement. This crown and you know, their arrangement, what they're using, no issues with that either. So it's very, very nice to use this watch on a daily basis. So rounding out the review, what do I think of RMALTI's first outing? Well, let's just say, guys, I am damn impressed. A few little design missteps in my opinion, a few little tiny issues, but no gargantuan ones that make me just want to, you know, get rid of it. It is a cracking watch. I mean, it's beautifully finished. That dial is stunning. You know, the finishing throughout is just amazing, to be honest. Like I said, for their first attempt, it's brilliant. It really is, guys. You know, it's such a good watch. Price point has creeped up a little bit to around £165 of the date of filming this review. But obviously I'll put current price in when I edit on screen so you can actually see it. But yeah, guys, this is a brilliant watch. That date window, I think if they either removed it or colour matched it, you know, that'd just be the icing on the cake. Sort out these, you know, male end links as well. Maybe do a female end link with those, you know, sharper, faceted accents. And I think, you know, that'd be it. And maybe, you know, being really nitpicker, a proper screw down case back with a decorated design rather than the exhibition, because we don't need to see an NH35. I'd also love to see a upgraded version with a Myota high beat movement or a PT5000. That'd just be like, yeah, it'd just be incredible to see. But yeah, like I said, plenty of other dial options if you're not a fan of this one, because I know legibility in certain lighting situations is not the best. But guys, you know, I am very impressed. It's one of the best watches that I've had off AliExpress, and you know, that's no joke. I mean, of course it's not perfect, no watch is, but yeah, it's damn close. It really is, guys. So link again will be down in the description. Thanks for watching and have a good one. If you want to see more content on the channel, click the links you can see right now. Like the video if you enjoyed it, hit that bell so you don't miss any future content, and of course feel free to subscribe if you want to stay in touch with the channel. Thanks very much. Have a good one.